Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen with you.
All right.
Um, Here we go. Let me close that. And you know which game you want me to look over?
The most recent one.
Just the most recent one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 5, 4, and 3.
hmm
Okay. So I also have this document I just put together real quickly. I'm gonna send you the link for it so you can view it. But just in general, I like to go over some of the pregame stuff before I start the coaching. So you can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. So there are just a few different things here. So first thing, every before you start any game, that is extremely thick. Holy. Okay. You really want to during the loading screen, during the lobby, you want to figure out what you want to do, what the enemy wants to do, what you need to do to win the game, right?
Yep.
And a lot of the laning phases, as a top laner or as an ADC, your game is mostly play your lane, try to get as much farm as you can, and play for late game, right? Whereas, and try to get small advantages in your lane. Support and mid lane, they do the same sort of stuff, but they do a little bit more around the map. But jungler, they really just want to try to impact the map as much as possible while maintaining optimal clear path, right?
Yep.
So you want to really try to figure out what you want to do before the game starts. You want to figure out what is your win condition, what lane is the best lane to gank. What should your clear path be like? And two things you really want to think about are what your jungle matchup is like and what are the lane matchups like. So for this game, let's see what it's like. You are Graves. You're versus a Ramus. So you're probably a little bit stronger than him early. So we'll look at the lanes as well. So it's Katarina versus Annie mid lane. And if you see that in the loading screen, what does that make you think?
I didn't really think much of that. I was more focused on just pathing bot side and playing for
Yeah.
my bot.
Okay. That's fair. So this is a pretty shitty team comp diff. You have Prio and probably none of your lanes.
Yeah.
I would say mid lane, Katarina versus Annie. Horrible, horrible lane for Katarina. There's just nothing she can do. I don't know why she went press the attack either. And Gallia went grasp as support. But so you should know that you're not going to have mid prio. Then you look at top. You look at Irelia versus Urgot. You want to think about what's going to happen there if you gank top. What the lane is going to be pushed into Irelia. That might be gankable if Irelia can get a stun. But again, it's still going to be a hard lane. You're probably going to have to help her out at some point. And if you look bot, there's Kaisa and Galio. Galio provides a lot of crowd control for you if he can land it. And it's Senna and Xerath. So if you can land crowd control, that's an easy game to pull off. So I agree that's a good plan to play around bot lane. But you really want to try to think about, even just for your first clear, who's going to be easy, hard to gank, who's going to be pushing, who's going to have prio, and you have to play around it. So just know that if you clear top side, and so does Ramus, and you go for the scuttle and contest him at it, you might win this 1v1. But your Katarina is not going to be able to get there before Annie. Your Irelia is likely not going to be able to get there before Urgot. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, ideally, you'll be able to take advantage of the Ramus's kind of weak and slow clear. And I'll preface this with, I don't really play Graves. This is just from a jungle point of view, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I can kind of give you some tips on how to approach the game, not really specific Graves mechanics and Graves builds. So what you want to think about in the loading game, generally you want to think, do you win the 1v1 at Scuttle? Which you look at this game in particular, you say, most likely yes. If you can play it properly, you should probably win that. Do you want to invade early? And ideally, you're Graves, you're good at invading early, but again, you don't have prio in any of your lanes. You don't want to do the... I see you watch Tarzan. He does this a lot, where he'll kill red buff and immediately try to fight the enemy at their blue buff. Right after they do blue buff, move on to Gromp. You probably couldn't do that just because both their laners will have prio, or all three of their laners will have prio, so your team won't be able to get there before the enemy team. So in this game, I would say this is probably not the best option. It could work. People don't roam properly in gold often, so it might work out, but if they play properly, it won't. You want to think, do you need to trade sides of the map, which you might want to do early on, because they have prio. You might want to just play around. Counter ganking, you might want to just go for the... So, for example, if Ramus clears red to blue and then goes for top scuttle, you might want to do the opposite clear and go for bot scuttle, just because they have prio in all their lanes. So, again, you want to plan around that. What you want to think about what the enemy jungler is going to be doing. You really want to analyze that. So, for example, if Shaco Jarvan might try to level 2 gank mid, is there anything you can do to stop it? Kindred would like to go to blue Gromp red into a gank, or red blue Gromp, or whatever, three camp clear into a gank. And maybe you want to change your clear. You would ideally like to full clear, right? As Graves.
Yeah.
But if you know that Kindred is on blue side, is going to go red into blue to Gromp and gank top lane, you might be better off... I know it's not ideal to clear suboptimally on Graves, but if you can be there to counter gank that gank top lane, if you analyze that, you expect her to do that, you'll be able to get a scuttle up on her, and you might be able to make the difference in that gank by counter ganking and get a double kill for your team. Conversely, you don't always want to do that because maybe you have a weaker 2v2 and you expect to lose it, but at least try to think about that. Get as much information as possible, so you at least make a decision based on information rather than reactively see, shit, Kindred's top, I should probably try to invade, but by that point it's already too late to counter jungle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to kind of figure out what they're going to do firsthand. Evelyn, Karthus are going to full clear into going to scuttle while avoiding fights. Maybe you can take advantage of that by doing counter jungling them. You could go for a really easy gank and know that they're not going to be able to counter gank you. Or someone like Kha'Zix, who can really 3 camp or full clear. They can adjust their clear based on the game. So you have to be careful of that as well. So this is just some of the things you should really think about before you even start playing. Should figure out what you ideally want to do with your ganks, with your clear, what lanes you want to play around. This game honestly might be looking like a dodge just because you have 3 losing lanes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, this game was painful.
Yeah. But, I mean, obviously it's still winnable. You just have to play extremely well. I would say top and bot are your 2 win cons. Probably Kaisa more than anything else, if you can protect her and get her decently ahead. But that might be difficult. And one thing, the main reason I wanted to watch a game from your point of view, like you record the game and watch how you clear, how you look at the map, is because I like to see how well you look around the map if you use your F keys. If while you're clearing your camps, are you looking at the lanes while you're clearing, because you don't really need to be looking at the camp? Are you assessing the wave state? Are you assessing, does it look like the enemy jungler is going to be ganking here, so I should be ready to move to counter gank? Notice that, there's a fight breaking out. If I stop killing Gromp here, I can make it to bot in time in order to move and kill him. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So I like to be able to see how you look around the map while you're clearing. I think that's, at least in below Diamond, that's one of the big things a lot of junglers miss. They don't look around the map enough. They don't really get enough information to make the right decision. And, you know, I think you want to be able to understand basic lane state stuff. I know you're a jungler, you won't have full understanding of all that. You should at least know the basics of slow pushes. You want to know what the wave will be like in 15, 20, 30 seconds. If you can, try to figure this stuff out, because that makes it so you know, do you have time to go for clearing a camp before you go for the gank or before the counter gank? So an example that happens a lot, here, let me get Rift Kit open. So this is an example that happens a lot, is that you could be here, enemy jungler could be here, your bot lane, your blue side here, right?
Yeah.
So let's say the minion wave is right here. There's 8 minions on this side. There's 4 minions here. And they're posturing very aggressively. They're pushing the wave really quickly in. You need to know immediately, do you have time to clear this camp? Let's even take the support out of the equation, so it's just your ADC here. This is something that's going to happen a lot, because ADC is really easy to dive and kill early on. Do you have time to clear this camp before going to help your ADC here? I mean, Tarzan talks about this very well. He's a very smart jungler. I know you watch him. I'm guessing you watch him a lot. In that he knows what's going to happen around the map. He's not extremely mechanically insane. He doesn't go for these insane outplays where you see him go 3v1 and make a cool play and just kill them and outplay them. He goes for smart, calculated plays. He clears optimally. He would know this wave will die and they're gonna dive him in 10 seconds, for example. Right?
Yeah.
And would that give him time to clear his Krugs, or does he need to go straight to prevent the dive? He'll be able to know long in advance whether or not they're going to dive here. He'll be walking out from Fountain, and he'll know 30, 45 seconds in advance that, oh yeah, their bot lane is setting up to go for a dive. So their jungler's probably going to be clearing Wolves, Gromp, heading down to dive. He'll know, can I counter gank this successfully? Should I go run straight bot to prevent the dive? Do I have time to clear a camp before I go to prevent the dive? Or even if I'm there, they're just going to kill me and the ADC, right?
Yeah.
He'll know in advance, and if he thinks that he loses the trade, even if he's there, he'll just go top. He'll just clear the enemy raptors here, clear the enemy golems, maybe go rift, maybe go gank top lane. If the wave's around here, he'll just run around and kill top lane after doing this. It's important to know, to analyze the map, try to figure out what is the enemy going to do in 15, 20, 30, even a minute in advance. And you want to be able to react appropriately and do as much as you can, right? And that is going to be very difficult to do in practice. And it takes a long time to really understand all of that. But ideally, you'll be able to slowly get better at that. And it's about making consistent plays. And it's your intention that matters, right? Yeah. So even if you go up here and you go for this, and your ADC and support should ideally just go back and give up a couple plates and not die, it's solo queue. They're going to be stupid. They're going to say, oh yes, this is an amazing fight to go for, and just go die and int, right? Mm-hmm. And then they're going to get the tower, first tower, they're going to get dragon. You can't really stop that, so you want to go for the consistent play of getting your camps, go for the rift. Maybe you can't counter jungle there because their mid laner and their top laner will have prio, and you go for this. They'll collapse on you, right? Just because they're making a play on the bot side of the map, don't force a play top if you can't. but you want to try to. You want to try to set up to make a play if you can. I know that's very general, and so it's hard to really put that into a specific game scenario. But if you can try to think about that in a game, it will help you immensely if you can try to focus on knowing what to do. Because for me, at least, I'm main mid lane, and jungle is just my secondary a lot of the time. But since no one plays jungle, I get it very often.
Yeah.
You know, jungle is about reading the map, understanding where you need to be and when you need to be there. It's not about mechanical outplays. It's just about being at the right place at the right time. And in order to do that, you really need to look around the map. If you are currently killing your raptors, pan your camera to mid lane, see what's happening. Are you going to be able to gank level 2, level 3 here? Or does it look like the enemy jungler's ganking? Most likely not, so you can just go clear your wolves again. While you're clearing, while you're walking over to wolves, take a look mid again. Take a look top. See, does it look like in 20 seconds after I clear my camps, there's going to be a good gank opportunity? If I run right now and skip my camps, again, clearing suboptimally, but if you do that, will you be able to get a kill or save your top laner from dying? Obviously, optimally, you'll want to clear this, and then go top and get the free kill, but if the kill is only there while skipping your camps, you want to go for that, and then your camps will still be there after. Just a couple small things that I notice in lower elos. They just kind of decide, this is the camp I'm going to do, and then I'll look what I can do afterward instead of planning ahead. And being the two most important things I've noticed, especially in early clears, are 1, plan ahead, right? So like that, I'm saying, as you're clearing, kind of figure out what's going to happen in 15, 20 seconds. So when you get there, where do you think they're going to be? Do you think the wave's going to be here so you can easily come and gank them? Or do you think it's going to be up here, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the enemy jungler is going to be there as well? So you have to play around the 2v2, wait for the enemy Rammus to use his crowd control so that way he doesn't have anything to stop you. And then second to planning ahead, don't be afraid to change your plan. Sorry for bad handwriting and weird undercase E with everything else uppercase, but you want to be able to change your plan and react to the game. I remember very clearly there was a game I was playing Kha'Zix, and I just cleared blue. I was starting blue right here. Let me zoom in. So, enemy jungler started here. My top laner was here. Mids were going to be here. And so this is what happened in the game. Their top laner leashed for their jungler, right? And my bot lane leashed me. I was Kha'Zix, and I noticed, instead of just clearing my Gromp, I was F-keying. I looked at my bot lane just because I was nearby. If something happens, I could help them, right? And their bot lane camped in this bush and would have killed my ADC and my support in the 2v2, right? Mm-hmm. But I was looking around the map. I was looking at the map. My plan wasn't to come do anything. My plan ahead was to be able to this, 3 camp into red and then gank top. But I was looking around the map. I saw that they were doing the death bush here, and they were trying to cheese a level 1 fight. I was halfway through my Gromp, but that doesn't matter because it'll still be there, so I just stopped killing Gromp. I ran up to this wall, I flashed over it, I queued, and I changed the fight, so neither my ADC or support died, and we got a double kill. And that is really good because even though I'm now behind in my clear speed, their jungler has a lot of prio tempo over me. My bot lane is now not losing. And I went from having a losing bot lane that would have been very difficult to come back from to having a winning bot lane for setting myself behind, all because I was looking at the map. And I was willing to change my plan and react, even if it means I'd wasted 5 seconds trying to kill Gromp. And if I had tried to kill Gromp and then came to the fight, I would still be level 2. But my ADC or support might have already died at that point, so then it's a 2v2 again. Whereas I'm Kha'Zix, I have to flash to get over the wall, so I don't have E, and they might have some still, you know?
Yeah.
So it's being able to really react and change your plan at a moment's notice based on information. That can be pretty important. So I think that's enough for kind of generic tips, you know? And we can kind of watch some of your gameplay and see if there's anything like that could happen. That's just some of the stuff that I've noticed with lower elo players, or even myself when I was reviewing my VODs, where I was like, why did I continue to kill wraiths here? I could have ganked mid or counter ganked or whatever, even though it's not optimal that I'm not clearing my camps off repeat. I might have been able to win the fight. And yes, oftentimes it's your laner's fault for going for a bad fight, but if you're there, you might be able to win it. So again, I would like to see you clear away from the Rammus, mostly just because you don't have prio in either of your lanes. I'm guessing the Rammus is going to start blue, full clear up to start around here. Why does it always go back to the thickest? That is annoying. I'm guessing Rammus is going to clear up to this way and go for scuttle up here. I'd probably like to see you clear to bot lane, full clear, and then go to scuttle here. Then look to either invade if Rammus didn't full clear. Go for a gank bot lane. Go for a gank mid lane if it's free. But if the Rammus looks for the counter gank mid lane, you have to be ready to... You have to be aware that Rammus might be there topside to counter gank mid lane. And again, it doesn't matter if you make the right decision necessarily. It just matters that you're thinking about this stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna turn my volume down a little bit. It's really loud. God. Why won't my volume bar? Whatever. I guess I'll live with it. So, a little unfortunate here.
I actually pinged her off of that.
Okay.
I just didn't want her to be behind.
One thing I would say is that generally when you clear, especially without a leash, the best way to optimally clear it is to kite up a little bit to around here, then you move down, and then you move toward Gromp.
Yeah.
Because that way, by the time it's around 10% HP, you're already kind of in range of the Gromp. And if you start by kiting down this way, you're going to either take more damage, or you're going to end the kiting up here, or down here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just a small thing with clearing. I'd like to see you kind of kiting up here a little more. Graves kills it kind of slow, though, compared to a lot of other junglers just because of his reload mechanic. So it's not too big of a deal. Again, I'd probably like to see you attack the Gromp earlier so that you're killing both at the same time. You can smite one while it's... You could just start off with a smite on the Gromp. Because Doesn't Graves auto... Does Graves auto automatically hit 2 champions, right? Or 2 if they're next to each other?
Not automatically.
Not automatically.
You can if you line them up correctly.
Yeah, so ideally you'll be able to line them up correctly. Not, I understand not automatically do it, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, here you ideally want to kite upward, so you can kite down towards your wolves camp next. Or you can smite it earlier. Yeah. Yeah. Again, I feel like this is more of a... I'm not sure about how Graves does his clear. You probably want to focus on autoing the big camp here because you'll kill the... Instead of autoing the mini one. I feel like if you Q twice in between your autos ricocheting and hitting multiple targets, you don't need to auto the mini ones. They'll probably just die. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you waste a second or 2 off that clear. Okay, use your E there. You can also kite the wolves if you do it properly to probably around here in the lane. And most times I would coach people, I wouldn't go too much into the first clear, but I feel like Graves every second really counts. I do like that you ended up clearing bot or top to bot here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, how I would like to see you clear. And again, I don't know what you're looking on your minimap. I would like to see you be panning mid lane here, and I'd like to see you be panning bot lane while you're kind of moving between your camps while you're kiting it, because you don't really need to focus all your energy on kiting, or at least you shouldn't. Because right here you can see, yeah, the lane is pushing into cat, kind of what I would expect. It's looking like it's going to bounce back toward Annie. Top is pushed in, kind of what you would expect. Bot, you know, you see how it's going, bot, and you start looking towards yourself again. You hit it, auto it, you look. You auto it, you look. You know, you're reloading, you don't have to auto. You see it's pushing in towards your bot. I see you ping. So that it looks like you're doing that, which is good. So ideally, you look at this wave, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minions versus a lot of minions. You don't even need to count. This is going to crash very soon. You don't have time to kill this. You don't have time to kill this. If you run straight there, you'll probably be able to just gank. But you also need to notice they're kind of low. Which, again, ideally, your laners should know not to do that. But you have to play around your laners. It just sucks a little bit that your laners play improperly there. I'm just gonna put this here.
First,
I like this gank. Okay. You know, again, I think this had a lot of really good intention behind this gank. You know, it wasn't an optimal setup. You didn't play it perfectly. If you played it perfectly, if your teammates had more health to follow up, it might have gone better. But I think you had really good intention. I think the way you went for this gank, instead of going for the scuttle, was very good. And I think that's a good play. Again, your intention was very good there. So I would say that's, overall, that's a better play to make than to mess up. Because next time you get a similar situation, you'll probably make it work, right?
Yeah.
And again, you might want to analyze that, oh shit, Kaisa is already very low, so is Galio before the fight happens, and play around that. Camp the bush, and then just gank when they go to dive. But overall, I think that was a good gank to go for, but now you're low, you might get zoned off this scuttle. You see that Urgot teleports. But see, also, you're kind of wasting a lot of time here. I believe they warded this, which you should know. But somehow Cat got prio. I don't think you win this fight. You know, Senna's coming here. Okay.
Yeah, I got a bit lucky here. That Senna was a little bit slow on her.
Yeah.
rotate.
So that's good. So I'd like to see you keep going. Okay. And now I'd like to see you take his camps. But the reason you know you can take the camps here is Annie just spawned, so you have time to take this camp. Their bot just died, so you still have time to take this camp. You probably don't have time to take wolves, though, because it's still early, so the respawn timers are still very low. Right.
I mean, at this point, I thought the game was over, but...
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that gank ever works. You know?
Yeah.
Just cause she's still full HP. Cat has no ignite. She's playing fairly safe on this part of the lane. You're better off probably if you have... I don't know what your gold's like. I forget the button to check that. See, yeah. So you have 1,500 gold on you. That's a lot of money. Just buy. Or you can clear your golems and then to raptors and then gank from there. But that's what I would have liked you to see. That I don't think that gank really works out. Ever.
So you're saying I should have just, instead of going for that gank, just cleared my raptors, golems, and reset?
Either that or just immediately reset if you want a tempo.
Yeah.
Because if you... Let's go back a bit. Right. 15. So right here. So you see that Rammus just went top. And he's probably going to be going bot side here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your support is recalling. Your ADC just got to lane. You analyze this and you think, okay, Kai'Sa... There's going to be the next 30 seconds while Galio walks back to lane. Kai'Sa's going to be in a kind of weird spot. Her wave is pushing in. Her wave's going to be right here. Right?
Mm-hmm.
She's going to have a lot of trouble pushing this in, assuming that their bot is probably going to be around here at this point and coming back into lane, and they're going to be coming here. All their bot has to do is try to keep this frozen here. Right? And Kai'Sa's gonna get zoned off this entire wave, which is gonna be a whole wave. And if she tries to contest, it's Senna Xerath. They're gonna have so much range that Kai'Sa's just gonna get poked out and not gonna be able to get any of this farm, right? After looking at this, I would say ideally path bot, help her shove this wave in so that way she can play the game. We also know that Rammus just killed top. He's resetting most likely. If he's playing properly, he's probably killed this. He's probably going to be resetting and coming to kill this and then this, which you already took this, but he might not know that. And then probably going for gank mid or bot or go for dragon if he has prio. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you should necessarily come here, help her push the lane in. But this is something you should at least think about doing. Because a gank isn't necessarily just successful because you get a kill. It's also sometimes your laners fuck up their wave state, mess up their wave state, and you need to come fix it for them. And in gold, this Kai'Sa might get really mad at you. Why are you coming and helping, taking my minions? But really, she's just not playing properly. You need to help her fix that wave or else she's fucked. She's going to die. So let's also look at the... all maps. See, yeah, Rammus is coming out. He's going bot side. Xerath is already here, so he's able to stop her from crashing this wave. She's not there yet. Senna's still a while away, but I'd say Rammus will probably, if he's going to gank bot, be bot in maybe 30, 45 seconds. Right? So, see, they kind of freeze this wave around here. Okay, this is done by their bot. They didn't play it properly. They didn't freeze. But if they froze this wave here, Kai'Sa's out of the game right here. Right? Yeah. I guess because they're too range, they want to just poke rather than they can't engage on them, but yeah. I think if you play either clear your camps or go to help your bot lane push in, maybe in diamond or something when you get up, if you get up to that high, the play would be to help your bot lane push in or clearing your camps or just going for a reset instead of that mid gank. You know, it's fine if you think that gank is going to work, but analyze and try to figure out, will this gank work or will it not and why? And if it doesn't, try to figure that out. Whereas Rammus went for a very weird clear. He's going back top. I think he probably should have gone for a gank bot lane here. But that's whatever. You should have, like right here, back what I was saying with clearing your camps optimally versus looking at the map and being willing to say, you know what? Ideally, I'd be able to clear this scuttle. But I see there's the fight breaking out now, so even though I've already killed half the scuttle, I need to rush top right away. You know?
Yeah.
Because it sucks to invest your time in something and have it, and just end up not being able to finish it. But if you get here early, I'm guessing Irelia is going to go really deep. Rammus is going to see it and come gank, because Rammus doesn't care about killing, he doesn't care about his farm, he just cares about getting his lanes ahead and being tanky enough to be hard to deal with. So right here, you know, it's kiting very far away. You're down here, whereas if right now you start to move there, you'll be there a lot earlier. And Rammus is now going to be there before you, and I think Irelia is going to die. And maybe not. And maybe it works out. But, and it works out, right?
Yeah.
It does work out for you, but you don't know that in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, this game is looking really good for your team. But again, with that, you don't want to go necessarily based off results. It worked out, so it was a great decision. You want to think, well, what if they played it better? If Urgot waited for Irelia to go in.
Yeah, my thought on doing the scuttle there was I was just waiting for Irelia to get 6 and then I was gonna come top.
Yeah,
that's when I knew it was gonna be like easy to gank. But
in that scenario, I would literally just press enter, say type it, and then type I gank when you 6 as you're walking to the scuttle. Press enter and then ping on the way, so that way she reads it, she knows what your plan is, and if you just ping on the way and then you start doing this, she's not gonna see, oh, he's just waiting till I'm gonna be level 6, he's gonna go for scuttle and then gank when I'm level 6. He's just gonna be stupid and say, awesome, I'm gonna fight now. Right?
Yeah.
He just sees the ping and decides, I'm gonna go.
That's my problem with like pinging, because like I like to ping ahead, but like, you know, things change, so like I don't always do like, what I exactly pinged, but then your team gets mad at you.
Really what I do is I just say I come 15 seconds. You know, that's how long, you know, it's gonna be. You're on your Gromp still. You're killing your Gromp. Again, while you're killing your Gromp, you want to be looking at the map, but you can also communicate with your team while you're doing that. You can just say, you stand here, you're autoing the Gromp, it's right here. You can still auto it, you can just press enter and type while your character's autoing to say I gank top 15s. Enter, and then you lose maybe half a second of optimal clearing, but it lets your team know what you want to do, which is probably more important than that half a second. So your team knows how to play around you, right?
Yeah.
And then you go for the scuttle, and then if you decide you need to leave immediately, then do that. Next. Okay. So you do have your sweeper already. I like that. So right now, looks good. Helping her push in. I'd like to see you reset immediately. And the reason you know to reset immediately is you look at the enemy's creep score. You see that ideally you will have been watching it since he last backed. You can see how many camps he cleared, right?
Yeah.
So each camp is 4. You will see that it went up by 12 since last time, right? which would mean 1, 2, 3 camps. And you know it's those 3 because you took his Gromp. So that way, that means his top side is down. Your blue is up, so instead of basing, you can go to blue. That wouldn't be a bad decision. But know that if you do blue first, Rammus has tempo advantage over you. So he'll be back on the map before you and be able to do stuff bot lane. So I'm not saying that you should do blue here. I'm not saying you should reset here. That's up to you to make that decision. But just know that if you go for this blue, Rammus will have time, be on the map before you and have time to make a play while you're off the map. But that lets you be very consistent and kill your clamps on spawn. Right? Mm-hmm. So I would probably go for the blue into immediate reset. Go for bot camps if I have time. But knowing Rammus, Rammus probably wants to do ideally, you should analyze and say that he's going to be spawning in 8 seconds. His blue is going to be up because he started bot side. He's going to go for this. You see that that's going to be spawning. He's probably going to go for that. And then he'll probably either want to... He might go just for red because he might autopilot. But ideally, he will go for a bot gank. He will go for a mid gank. Or if his bot has prio, which they probably won't be... Actually... It looks like his bot is pushing in, so the wave will be bouncing back out, so they might be able to get prio for dragon. Right?
Yeah.
So if you go for this and you go for your camps on your way back, they might be able to get dragon because of it. So I'd say your best bet is to just run straight out towards bot lane, look at the wave, look to see, like I did with the Rift kit earlier, analyze, are they going to dive? Is there going to be a play made here? And do I have time to clear my Krugs before they make the play? Right? Because right now, this is your game to throw. Your bot is doing decent. Your mid is somehow winning this horrible matchup. Your top is crushing Urgot. And Rammus is still pretty behind. Right? This is really your game to win. And yours to throw. Game should be in your hand. So let's see what you end up doing. You really want to analyze. This is the best play, but know that to go for your blue here. But what's going to happen if you go for it? You're giving up tempo. So we can just kind of speed up. I'd like to see you immediately reset after this, because you probably have gold. You don't have a ton of gold, but you still have a bit of gold. You still have enough that you could probably get boots and something. Or a Dirk or something. But you could also go for a clear into this, into counter ganking bot or this. Because you don't have a ton of money on you, right?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's what your thought process is. You don't have a ton of money, so you don't want to give up your tempo.
Yeah, for the build I was going for, I'm pretty sure I needed either it was 600 gold for the cloak or something else that I didn't have enough for. I didn't really want to back for a cloak.
You don't want to back for a cloak until you already have a decent amount of... Either you already have Infinity Edge, or you already have a decent amount of gold.
Yeah.
But just know that if you back here, you're giving up tempo, so I think it's decent for you to not back here after all, just because you don't have gold. I was thinking you would have gold, or a decent amount of gold, but looking at your gold, that makes sense. I'd like to see... And this is what you should just be doing all the time, is analyzing the game state, analyzing where do you think the enemy jungler is going to be, and when do you think he'll be ganking? Can you counter gank? Can you take advantage of his gank? Or do you think you lose no matter what? You can go for a gank somewhere else, mid or top. If he's ganking bot, go for Herald while he's ganking bot. Tell your bot, hey, Rammus is probably coming bot in 15 seconds, right? That's one of the most frustrating things for me. I'll ping my bot and tell them, hey, Rammus is about to gank. But then they die anyway. But so you see bot. You should be looking and seeing that there's a fight going on bot right now, right? Immediately run. I see you running there, which is good. You see the 3v3 going on. Analyzing it. You probably go for Xerath first. You see Senna's dead, so this is a 2v3, so this is a pretty good fight. So that's good. I'm guessing this is pretty good from you because I'm guessing you were doing this and you were looking at the map, or you heard pings.
Yeah.
And you reacted to it.
Bot lane the whole time.
Yeah. So it's good that you reacted to it. I'd like to see Dragon here. Yeah, that's good. You could go for an invade here, but this could be kind of risky. It might work out. But again, you don't know if Rammus is going to run bot side. You know his whole top side's up. But from your point of view, let's do blue side. From your point of view, their team is back up. Your Kai'Sa's recalling. She's low. Galio's kind of low on mana. Katarina's probably not going to be able to get prio here. If you go and invade here, try to take their camps, right? Rammus could be coming bot side here. He might be going top because his top side camps are up as well. Right?
Yeah.
But even if then their bot and their mid might be able to collapse on you and kill you. Also, another thing to note is that if you do go for this invade, that's fine. But know that if Rammus is smart, he's going to just go and do Rift. Because you're taking a couple of his camps, he's going to say, okay, that's fine for you to take my camps, I'm going to take Rift from you. And a good a good jungler would do that. But just know that this might be a decent decision. It might work out for you. It is a little risky because their laners are going to have prio and be able to react to you if they see you in there. Let's see. Instead of going for an invade, you go for a... This gank is never really going to work out. Again.
Yeah, I feel like Katarina just has like not much gank set up unless she's shoved under her turret.
This... Not only that, but against an Annie. Annie is full HP almost. She has a stun. She has flash up. You might not know she has flash up, but again, this is not going to work out when the wave is up here. When she's able to stand in this pocket, she has to be up here in order for this to possibly work out. And if you're coming to help, if Annie, for example, has her wave frozen here, right? You might need to come just to help push the wave in to reset it for Katarina. That's fine. But it looks like you're trying to gank just to kill, and this, you should know this gank is not going to work out. It's a little unlucky that Xerath is there, but even if he's not, that gank's not going to work out, and you should probably know that in advance. You're better off either trying to counter jungle, kill your camps on spawn, and then go up, try to make something around top and get Rift, right?
Yep.
And now you're just kind of dancing around here for a little while, wasting a lot of time. When you could have gotten a camp or two. Again, it would have been very risky to go for those camps because, like you saw, Rammus went topside, but Xerath was running around his side of the jungle, so they would have been able to collapse on you, which is why I was saying, ideally, yes, you'd be able to kill his camps while he's topside, but it's very risky while they have prio, right?
Yep.
So I personally might have tried to go for the invade, but knowing that it's really risky, but I probably would have just cleared my camps, reset, because now you're going to have gold on you, then path toward top to try to get Rift, maybe make a play with Irelia, because Irelia is still really strong, right? So, right here, you probably wasted 20, 30 seconds just going for a gank that's not going to work out. Put your camps there. Ideally, just reset immediately. You look at, yeah, you do that. You look at bot. The wave's pushed in. You're not able to dive this without Galio. He's top, but see that now they got the shutdown on Irelia. If you'd immediately cleared your camps and ran straight top, you might have been there for this counter gank, right? Mm-hmm. And again, that's a lot to say, but it would probably take you 20, 30 seconds to walk. It probably takes around 30 seconds to walk top if you have boots, right? And if you didn't waste that 30 seconds running around here, you probably could have you would have had to have wanted to ideally clear your camps on your way up. But again, looked at your top laner, seen that there's a fight going on, and skipped your camps and ran straight top. It's not about making the right decision every time. It's trying to analyze all the information you have available to you, get all that information, analyze it, and try to make the right decision consistently. Because now Rammus can freeze that wave for Urgot, which is really bad for Irelia, really good for Urgot. Now you're clearing your topside camps. You should be looking mid, see if there's a possible gank opportunity here. There might be, you know. You could do Rift here, but know that your Katarina's in base. Your Irelia doesn't have prio right now. Again, if you stopped doing Scuttle there and you just ran mid, you might have been able to help Irelia. Right?
Yeah.
It's about... Ideally, you don't have to do that, but... And the Scuttle would still be there afterward. Right? You really want to... I don't know if this will work out. It might. She has her stun. I'd say wait till she uses her stun to go for the gank. You know, she's probably going to use her Q on the minion there to push the wave in. And if you just wait a second for her to do that... Unless that's warded, you don't know. But... Yeah, they didn't have a ward, so you probably, if you waited for her to use her Q or just went in before she had her stun up, you probably would have been able to kill her. But that's just micro stuff. This is a decent idea, but I don't think this is a great play because their top has prio. Your top is still dead. She has teleport, so she can teleport to help you. Your Katarina doesn't have much prio. You know that their top lane is probably going to come here. So I'd say the better play is probably just to go for this and wait to do Rift until you have prio from your top laner. But it looks like they give it up anyway. But yeah. And like with trading sides of the map, know that you doing Rift allows Rammus to do this bot lane gank, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that should just be something you're aware of and know that it's okay for you to go for this Rift, but you should tell your bot lane that, hey, be careful, he might try to gank. And just know that this is an option, and then ideally you'll clear his camps here too. Either that, or you'll make a successful gank top, but you're not going to be able to dive a full health Urgot with Irelia. And he's under tower too. This is not really going to work. You're going to waste a lot of time here, right?
Yeah.
So I would say this play goes back to this example. If you know the wave will, you know, understand when the waves are going to be and when the gank will be possible. If right here you look and you see the wave is pushing into Urgot, he's full health, you're just killing the Rift, you know that even if you come path straight away, you're not going to be able to kill Urgot. You have a while until the wave will set up to a spot where it's gankable. Right? So you have time to clear the camp before you go for the gank. Right?
Shut down.
Because you see that the gank is... The wave is around here. You're not going to be able to dive a full health Urgot without hard crowd control. You're probably not going to be able to make that. You could just take his camp here. Look for the top lane gank. I know you want to use your Rift, but you still got a few minutes before anything. This isn't really gonna... But see how you could have denied Rammus this camp? On top of going for this? It's about getting as much of an advantage as possible. Because there's no way this works. Also, another small thing. The more plates that are gone, the more resists it has. So you ideally want to wait until it's 2 plates. So the Rift will do more damage, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So ideally you would wait, you would hold the Rift, you would auto it with Irelia, wait till it's... You could probably honestly get this turret if you get this plate with Irelia, you 2 auto it. Urgot has to be fearful of the dive. He's 0-3, you have 6 combined kills with you. You could easily get this full plate, drop the Rift, get first tower. Instead their bot... they're probably not going to be able to get it because it's so healthy. But see now how little your autos do.
Yeah.
And if you dropped Rift 5 seconds later, this tower would be dead, you'd be able to kill him. But now you're going to struggle to kill the tower. You do get it, but you would have killed it 5 seconds earlier if you dropped it so that it would hit right when it lost its second plate. And then you'd be able to kill him. Right?
Yeah.
That's fine. Clear your camps on repeat. You know Rammus is going top side again. Look at his farm. He has 80. And I say look at his farm because he's got 80 because then you know for next time when he shows how many camps of his own he's killed, right? Ideally, I would have liked you to hit your blue first and kite your blue into your Gromp so you kill both at the same time. But this, at least you're thinking about it. I think blue into Gromp is better. But, okay. You have a decent amount of gold. I'd like to see you reset soon, especially because you know Dragon's up soon, so you want to be ready for the Dragon, right? You want to be on the map, having bought, being here 15 seconds before the Dragon spawns, right?
Yeah, this is where I think we lost the game. Or at least in my opinion, this is where the game kind of became lost.
Yeah. So you at least reset immediately, but notice how, again, this is kind of your teammate's fault for dying here. But imagine if... Yeah, but imagine if instead of clearing your wolves here, because, again, in an ideal world, you'll be able to kill all your camps on repeat immediately and then be able to do stuff on the map. But you're not able to do that here. Dragon's going to spawn soon, and because you go for this camp, you're not at this dragon early enough. Your team ints here, which sucks. They shouldn't be going for this fight without you here. But imagine if you didn't clear this wolf camp. You would be probably around here already, which is a pretty decent amount of change. You would have had time while walking here to type, wait for me, and then ping them back. So they would wait for the fight, but because you're busy clearing this wolf camp, you're not able to tell your team what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's knowing when you need to clear efficiently versus when you need to say, look at the map state, look at the objectives and say, you know what, I really want to be able to clear efficiently. I want to kill this. I want to kill this scuttle, but fuck a wolf camp. Dragon's more important. Winning the mid-game dragon fight is more important than one wolf camp. And it goes back to that same thing. Do you have time to kill this camp before you need to go for this gank? Or in this example, do you have time to kill wolves before you get to this fight? And if you look at, I'm not sure what the button is for timer for objectives and whatnot, but you should see that immediately and say, I don't have time to get to dragon and kill the wolves, so it's more important that I'm at this fight. Right?
Yeah.
Because your team is here very early, this is amazing by all of them. They're setting up vision and everything, but this is on you for not being here on time.
Yeah.
And yes, this is on your team in theory for not recognizing that you're not here. They should recognize that, hey, Graves isn't here. He just got a really big power spike. He just got his Gale Force. But we need to play back. And again, also, remember, you took wolves so you could afford an extra longsword. I could understand you wanting to clear this camp so before this fight you could afford your Gale Force. That's a huge power spike. But if it's only for something like a longsword, it's really not worth risking a fight or anything over. So I agree, this is probably where your team throws the game. Because once their team gets ahead, their comp is just infinitely better. They just win. Right?
Yeah.
So ideally, your team will recognize you're not there. And just kind of cede some of the pressure. And hopefully you'll be able to get there in time for a steal or for a late fight. And again, ideally your Irelia would recognize the second dragon's almost up. She'll be able to be there in time too. So that kind of sucks, but understand, do you have time to clear these camps and still get to dragon on time? You know. And then they probably just scale out of control from here.
Yeah, it was just... Any team fight we kind of just lost.
Yeah. Okay, so... I will go... You know, you want to be clearing optimally. Know when you can't clear optimally. You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, do you have any other questions? I feel like this is
I think I learned a lot from this.
Okay, yeah, of course. I mean, it's really, this isn't going to be helping you, telling you this is what you need to do, and if you do this one tip, you're going to win more games, you know? It's kind of, especially with jungle, it's really up to you to figure out what you need to do each game to win it. But with jungle, it's how do you approach each game? That's what really matters. And while you could say this game, oh, you jungle diffed the Rammus because you're up farm and you're 2-0 and 3, but really, I mean, he has 7 KP and you're at 5. He was at that fight at Dragon and you weren't. So again, I think you played pretty well and you made some really good decisions in this game. And if you do that a lot more, you'll still continue to climb based on your play right there. But just again, ideally, before the game starts, create your game plan. It seems like you kind of do that, based on this game at least, how you knew to clear bot side. Well, I don't know if you fully did that just because you want to gank bot lane here, because I'm not sure if that's what you were thinking, or if it was because the reasoning I had, whereas you don't have prio in your lanes, you know Rammus is probably going to go for top scuttle, so you should go for bot scuttle. You want to create your game plan. You want to really assess the game state, especially when you are clearing your camps. You don't want to just clear camps and watch the camps die, because you know you can clear the camps as well as look at the lane. If you press F1, I don't know if you use your F keys. I rebound my F keys to my Z, X, C, and V, so it's a little easier for me. What?
Yeah, I put them on ZXC I put them on ZXC N maybe, I forget.
Yeah, but you have them somewhere else where you know to hit them, so just I'd really recommend use them while you're clearing your camps, even if it's just for a second, and don't just press them just to press them. Really try to understand what's going on. What my general rule of thumb is, when I'm clearing bot camps, I like to look mid and bot. When I'm clearing top camps, I like to look mid and top. Right?
Yeah.
Just in case something happens, you don't wanna kill half your camp and then leave immediately to help your bot, but if you think you leaving will win a fight, you can do that and then come back, you know. So really try to assess the game state, look at what's going on in the lanes, try to understand wave states. I'm not sure how much you know about waves and pushing and slow pushes and stuff, but I'd really try to do this. Maybe if you get diamond or something, then look into this a little bit more. I feel like this is probably less important right now at your elo, and this can also help you with when you can dive an enemy, when you can be there to counter gank, when you need to be there, when you have time to do camps. But this is a bit more of an advanced topic, but so I'll just type that out for you. But you really want to also analyze what the enemy jungler is doing, how many camps have they cleared, what's going to be up. Try to analyze all that information so you know how you can clear. You really, again, you want to trade objectives on sides of the map, and not just trade objectives, know when you need to trade objectives versus know when you should contest. So You can contest them going for dragon because you think you're going to win that 3v3 fight, or you think you guys lose it, you give it up and try to get rift and take his top camps. But you can't just reactively do that. Again, you need to assess the game state and know in advance and think, I'm going to prepare to go play top side here because I think they're going to do dragon in 30 seconds in advance, right?
Yeah.
And if you see them on dragon but you're still here, you don't have time to clear your camps and then go for rift because they're going to be done and be there and kill you by the time you are finishing it up. So you need to proactively play proactive rather than, you need to play, at least think proactively, and then you can react from there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then clear optimally but be at the fights. Again, that's what happened that game. But again, I can't stress this enough. Jungle is just about being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I think I definitely need to get better at panning my camera.
Yeah,
My keys.
Honestly, that's one of the hardest things to do, and when you don't do that nearly as much on the other roles. I think jungle, that's the most important thing to do. When I was starting to learn how to jungle again, I was watching Yankos just because I was like, oh, I wonder. I think watching someone who's pro do it would be good, and he's kind of entertaining. And I saw him; he was just clearing his camps, and he was just panning bot, and he was panning mid, even though he's level 2. He just killed his blue. Why is he going to be looking for a gank? But it's just to see if something happens, and so he can react to it. It doesn't hurt to have that information. Even if you do nothing about it, I think my mantra is the right decision without the right reasoning is the wrong decision, because it won't work next time. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Because it might work this one game, but overall, over the course of a lot of games, it will get you stuck, because then you won't be making the right decision because of the right information. And it might help you get to Platinum 3 right now, but then you're going to get there and that trick you were doing won't work and you're going to get stuck again. Whereas if you're using the right information, you would make that decision because of the information. And then when you get to Platinum 3, when they react to your decision, you would say, oh, actually, this game is not the right decision, so you'll be able to climb even more from there. Yeah, and do you have any other questions or anything? I mean, I can look through your OPGG a little bit, but it seems like you're doing a pretty good job. You're sticking mostly to the same few champions, which is really good. You want to stick to as few champions as possible. It seems like you're doing decent in most of your games.
Yeah, I'm a bit tilted over the past couple games. So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I understand sometimes it happens. League is out to get you. The system's kind of designed to make you play as much so you can grind it. So you play as much as possible. But when I get tilted, I mean, don't play ranked when you're tilted. Really, only play when you're focused and when you think you're going to play well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Win and loss streaks happen. Don't spam to FF just because the game feels unwinnable. Sometimes it's not winnable, but especially in gold, people love to throw. People get so confident they stay on the map with 3,000 gold and they don't realize it and they just die. Give you a 700 gold shutdown and then you can win from there. You know?
Yeah.
And don't get tilted. Just take a break. Even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, just drink a cup of tea, go for a quick walk, grab a snack, do something, let your anger, frustration leave you, then play again. You're not streaming. You don't need to be on your computer 24/7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clear your mental. I mean, when I was hard stuck gold, all I had to do in order to climb was I just had to focus on, when I was playing mid lane, I just had to focus on not dying before level 6 and only play when I was going to perform. Because I was playing half my games at a diamond level, but half my games at a silver level because I was tilted or I wasn't playing properly. If you only play when you're playing properly and when you're playing at that diamond level, you're going to climb. But if you play half your games diamond, half your games silver, you're going to lose those games when you play silver that you should have won. And so you stay stuck.
Yeah.
There's that sort of player, and then there's a sort of player who they play some aspects of their game their mechanics are diamond, but their game sense, their macro is silver. That's why they stay stuck. But if you are stuck because of you tilt, just try to focus on not tilting. Mute your chat if you need to.
All right.
But hopefully that helps you a little bit. Do you have any specific questions?
No, not right now.
Okay. Yeah, feel free to message me again on Discord if you have any specific questions, or the Summoners School people are very, very willing to help you out.
Yeah, I've talked to one other guy on Summoner School to get my friend coached.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think if you really focus on looking around the map and analyzing what's going on, I think you'll climb pretty far pretty quickly. I think you have a lot of good ideas. You just need to really make sure you play pretty well, jungle pretty well compared to most people in your elo. I've seen just really try to focus and look around the map a lot more.
All right. Well, thanks for the coaching. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Have a great day.
You too.
All right.